We're outside one of the busiest areas here at IFSEC 2016, outside the Security Management Theatre, and I'm joined here by David Thorpe, Managing Director of the Security Institute. David, thanks for joining us. Tell me a bit about the Security Institute, please.
Yeah, well, David, the Security Institute was founded in 1999 by a group of senior security professionals who had originally worked within IFSEC, but they felt that there was a need for a more specifically British perspective on a security professional body, and their intention was to actually create that from the ground level upwards. And over the past 15 years, that's exactly what we've been doing.
Terrific. And how many members do you have in your organisation now?
At this point in time, we've got 2,100, just under 2,200 in fact. So we've grown steadily and consistently over that period of time. But in the early years, we focused primarily on very senior professionals within the industry. What we're doing now is starting to work much more with people lower down the career ladder, the very people who actually need the help a professional body can give them in terms of networking, in terms of educational opportunities, in terms of access to information, in terms of thought leadership.
Well, I was going to say, you're looking at people wherever they are in their career as members, and the kinds of things really. How would it benefit me if I was just starting out my career in this industry? What would be the benefits to me for joining the Security Institute?
We have a very rigid process for acceptance, so that people know that if you've been accepted as a member by the Security Institute, then you can back up everything that you claim with the fact that you've been worked through our validation board. Our validation board will look at your experience, it will look at your track record, and it will decide whether or not you're worthy to join these other professionals within our organisation. We aspire to work with the very best in the profession, and I think that's the impression that we've tended to give to the industry over the past 12 or 15 years since we were formed.
So membership is a real mark of quality. Talk to me about the conversations that you're having here. What's new with the Security Institute, and what are you chatting with the visitors to IFSEC about?
Well, the biggest innovation from our point of view this year is that for the first time, and at this very exhibition, we're launching our corporate partnership scheme. Initially, we've only focused on working with individuals. Now we're looking to work with organisations as well, so that we can actually use them in our thought leadership initiatives, help us in our research projects, help to create communities of interest within their own organisation, but also within the wider industry. And that's going very well. We've got an awful lot of people wanting to come up and talk to us about that, because we didn't tell anybody anything about it. If you wanted to find out about it, you had to come to this stall today to actually discover it. And obviously we'll be rolling it out now with high hopes for it over the next few months.
It's an exciting time to be working in the profession, isn't it? There's so many changes, and such an interesting future.
It's a dynamic profession. The nature of threat changes, and if the nature of threat changes, the nature of the way that you respond to that threat has to change as well. And sadly, risk is not going to go away. The need for security is ever present now, and will be so as long as coherent society exists. I think there'll be a role for us well into the future.
David Thorpe, Managing Director of the Security Institute. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks, David.